watching Chopping It Up with Roger Cador and Perry White.
We are live. It is Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White. Of course, I am Perry White. He's the man, the myth, the legend himself, Roger Cador. Good morning to everybody. Hope you guys had a good weekend and an even better week, because here on the campus of Southern University, of course, we in the Roger Cador Baseball Field House, and nobody better than to have a conversation because it's homecoming week on campus this week.
They better have some people come on here. Ain't nobody moving around right now. They better hurry and get here. Or Saturday, they better hurry and get here.
You know, it's just Tuesday, Coach. So, you know, as the week goes on, people will start making their way from all across the country.
That's true.
Coming back to Baton Rouge and start pulling in Thursday. You know, for sure Friday and Saturday, look, there's no question about it. The entire city, the state, everybody all around in the region to be out supporting and coming out for the Jaguars. And, you know, you being an alum of Southern University as a student, tell me about your first homecoming experience as a student.
I can't remember.
Oh, no.
You want me to? Honesty is big.
It's a lot of things I know you can remember from the 1900s. That's not one of them, huh?
That's not one of them. I mean, you know. And honesty is big with us, to be honest. I just can't remember the first homecoming. I mean, that's not something I paid a lot of, put a lot of stuff into. But, you know, we went to football games. I never paid much attention to homecoming or whatever. I can't remember any homecoming.
Really?
But I do remember one thing. One thing I do remember about a football game, and it could have been homecoming, but I'm not going to say it. The Isley brothers came to town. And I was living in Granison Hall, and they came by. One of my friends knew him from Shreveport, knew him, and obviously the Isley brothers are New Jersey guys. They're from the Garden State. But they came to my room in Granison.
Seriously?
They even smoked a pot with the guy with my room.
The Isley brothers came to your room in Gradison and smoked some weed, is what you're telling me.
Smoke a pot. I'm telling you, I couldn't make that up.
That's a hell of a story.
I couldn't make it up. Couldn't make it up if I wanted to. I'm telling you, so there it is.
What?
I can't make that up. You know, when I came in, they had already, I just happened to come in on them, you know what I'm saying? They had done their thing and, you know, they were gone. The pot was smelling this, you know, it was the Isley brothers.
That's a hell of a story to tell.
It's a great story.
Yeah, it is, man. What year was this?
Now, this had to be 71, 72. I didn't know much about marijuana at the time, so it wasn't, you know, country boy. I hadn't seen pot until probably 72. I never knew what pot was.
Pot, that's the old school name. Still calling it pot.
Oh, marijuana.
They just call it that loud these days.
What they call it?
That loud.
Oh, okay. I don't know. But no, that was something about the Isley brothers. You know, and I had not even thought about it until you asked me about some memories back. That was one of the memories I had.
That's a hell of a memory, though, saying the Isley brothers came to your room in Gradison and smoked some pot on homecoming. That's memorable.
That's memorable. With my roommate from Shreveport, yeah.
Damn, what a homecoming that was.
I don't know if it was homecoming.
Oh, okay.
I said it was a football game, but I'm going to think if they came, it had to have been homecoming.
Yeah.
Somebody that big, you got me?
Yeah.
They would have come on homecoming, yeah.
And you don't remember any homecomings much back in the days?
I really don't remember much about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, some things come to me, but I mean, you know, the football regular season games were just as big as homecoming.
Yeah, you are right.
I mean, when you had all of the great players, you know, Jackson came to town, you know, Alcorn, I mean, you know, Texas Southern. I mean, they all had really, really good teams, so you really didn't highlight too much on homecoming, other than if there was somebody coming to town, like the Isley brothers, and Harold Melvin and the Blue Note, or Harold Melvin. Harold Melvin, what's it?
No, you going a little bit before me, Coach.
You never heard of Harold Melvin? No.
What's the song? Sing the song for me. What song they known for?
I know. I knew until you asked me. Somebody will call and tell. Harold Melvin is big, man.
Yeah.
He's big right now. He's go all over. You never heard of him.
Just not off the top of my head right now. G, what about you? I don't know. Yeah, well, no. I don't know, Coach. We just need to hum the song, because if you can give me a song, then I know. I may not know the name of the artist, but I may know the song.
Jonathan, pull up Harold Melvin.
Harold Melvin?
Yeah. I can't believe these young guys never heard of that guy.
What year was this?
Oh, well, he's around now.
In the Blue Notes?
Don't put the Blue Notes on there. No,
What about?
just Harold Melvin.
Okay.
Yeah, the Blue Notes will throw you off. That's how they started out.
Yeah, give me one. What's his name? Harold Melvin. Give me one Harold Melvin top chart song. What you got? Let's see what song he got. Maybe that'll help me remember.
The Love I Lost?
The Love I Lost.
Let me hear you sing it.
You sing it.
I don't know. Let me hear you sing it,
I
Coach.
ain't singing it. Not until you ain't gonna get me.
You
on-
said it like, the love I lost. Like, you know what? That's one of the jams.
Yeah, Harold. I'm surprised the neurosurgeon being from New Orleans hadn't heard of him.
He's a New Orleans guy?
No. He grew up in music in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But Melvin was of Philly, came out of Philly.
Oh, tough guy.
Yeah, the
then.
Philly, they had, Motown, Philly, Memphis. Those were the places where musicians were coming out of.
How much did music for you shape your life? Is it certain songs when you hear it brings back nostalgia of certain moments and times, like it literally takes you to a time and place in your life?
Yeah, but I can't remember the songs now. But songs were part of our culture, history.
Mm-hmm.
It's remember, what we did to make the pain go away. That's the best way to put it. We used to sing. I mean, I could remember in the fields picking cotton and people were singing. Mm-hmm. And I equated to be making the pain go away, because there was nothing good about what, that would, other than this is gonna make the pain go away. We have to do this, pick this cotton, do this, not get paid, not do. So they sung. Mm-hmm. And so singing is, if you go back 200-300 years in the African American culture, you'll see where music and it's a song I want to tell you about.
Tell me about it.
And people think it was written by, and I'm not going to be able to call it now. It was a spiritual song that was written by a ship owner. And they had the slave in the belly of the ship and they started singing. And they thought it was a black person wrote the song, but it was a white man who wrote that song. I gotta think about it. I'm sorry I drew a blank here, but somebody listening out there know what I'm talking about. Black people get credit because they sing that song a lot in the black church. But darn, I'm looking at this guys. He wrote it, was the owner of a slave ship who wrote that song. And many famous black people have sung that song. And they've sung it in the churches for sure because,
You used to sing out there in the field? You were singing?
I didn't sing much. I couldn't sing. But I listened to what people were singing. Mm-hmm. Because again, I used the phrase, it was a way to make the pain go away. Mm-hmm. It was a way for me to just expand my thinking a little more. to build on what I was already thinking, that I was going to get out of there. One day I was not going to be here anymore. You got me? And that was what I was building on, you know. I couldn't understand everything, but I understood that I had to make this thing work for me. And I had to be strong, you know, tough.
Speaking of homecoming, you know, you did a lot to get away. How often do you go back and visit where you're from around that New Roads area?
Every now and then I go, but you know, what I do, you know, I lived on a one-way street called Ventress on the opposite side of Force River. You ever been to Force River? I was on the opposite side. Most people come from Baton Rouge going Force River side. The other side is Ventress. Well, that's where I grew up.
You on the side that's in between the lake and the river, is what you're saying, in that part.
Well, I don't know what you mean with the lake. It's only one river, and it's two sides, Force River and Ventress.
Okay.
Or they call it the island back then, you got me? They call us, that's why I have the accent, because obviously the people who came from the islands. So that's a long story, but boy, I want to give you the name of the man that wrote that song.
It'll come to you, just keep going.
Keep rolling, yeah.
But you say you go back and you often...
Well, yeah, I go back and pass and I fantasize. And I'm not afraid to say or ashamed. I looked at the area that was difficult. Then I looked at the area where I find some serenity. You know what I'm saying? That I had peace. And all of that is healthy for you. To be able to go back and, in retrospect, look at things the way they were. You got me?
Yeah, because you've been many other places. Your eyes have seen a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But to know where you started and what you... And it's hard to believe sometimes when you look back at where you come from and know all the places that you've gone and all the people you met and the things you've done and seen in life. Then you go back and you realize while you were out moving, and it's still slow when you get back. Nothing has changed. It's still at a snail's pace when you get there.
Yeah, it's interesting. And you know what?
It's good now when you got money in your pocket and go do what you want to do.
My wife is not here with us anymore.
Yeah.
So you know, but it was, I mean, you know, it was just for me, it was all right. See, even when I came to Southern and there were other kids from the big cities and they looked like they were rocking and rolling and had more going than everybody else, I never got involved in thinking I was at a big disadvantage. You got me? I had common sense. Well, a lot of people came from the big city, didn't use common sense. I saw them do stupid things, you got me? That I would have never done. And they got in trouble because of it, you got me? And I think my upbringing, the people I listened to, because I used to hang with the older men. That's why the old men, that's where I hung when I was young. You
was wise.
Way ahead of everybody else because I hung around the older men. The men in their 50s and 60s years old, you got me? Those are the people I was with. You know, and my mother felt extremely comfortable that I was with those people, you got me? Because back in the days, those people took care of the younger ones. And they wanted me around, you got me?
Was Baton Rouge like the first big city for you, considering coming from a small town? Was this considered a big city for you back then?
Not that you mentioned it, I never thought about it as a big city. You know, because Perry, I was so focused on what I was here to do. I never got out of, you know how a camera get unfocused? I never became like that. I stayed focused. So to say that I was going to get involved with going and do something that I wasn't supposed to, that was never going to happen.
You know you was so locked in, you was not going back over there by that False River.
Wasn't going back. Wasn't going back. And it takes that kind of discipline.
Yeah.
You see, the discipline. So I was never going to listen to what these other guys were saying that might have sound good, but in the back of my head, it's saying, this ain't worth the doing.
Yeah.
Nothing but trouble. So I always, and I was a loner, which made it easy.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't need all those guys. I didn't need the foolishness, the talking that they did. I didn't need that to make me. I was out working them. All of the while, I was catching up with them. I was so far behind. While they were wasting time acting foolish, it was giving me an opportunity to catch up. And I saw it was like the rabbit and the tortoise running, the hare and the tortoise, the race, the turtle and the rabbit. Who was the fastest?
Well, they said the rabbit's supposed to be the fastest.
Okay.
You know.
Was supposed to be.
Yeah.
He didn't win the race, did he? See, so my point, I mean, a lot of them guys didn't win the race.
Yeah.
They were so far ahead of me, they really fell asleep and I passed and they never even saw me passing them. So it's just, it's something that, you know, people could learn if they can stay on that road, if they can stay disciplined, if they can stay focused and not let, because people never go, there are a lot of people don't want you to be who you are. They're going to want you to be more like them or somebody else. You got me?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? A lot of people don't want you to be who you really are.
Yeah, where I'm from, right? Leaving Palm Bluff, and you know, I'm like you. I was so focused, I just knew I didn't want to go back.
Yeah.
And the thing was, it was, in most instances, that's why they say never tell the left hand what the right hand is doing.
Right.
You will have people who will downplay your goals, your dreams, your ideas, the direction you want to go, because guess what? It means you moving forward and it means leaving them behind. And the consensus is most people, if they don't have anything going for themselves, don't want to see you move forward because there's nothing motivating them. So they know they're going to be left behind. So, and oftentimes you'll have somebody, every time you mention something positive about wanting to go for your dream and your goal, they find a way to break it down and tear it down, telling you that's a dumb idea, that ain't gonna work, you ain't gonna do it. Or in most cases that I've seen, especially with athletes, when others in the neighborhood or in the community know this young man or this young lady, whoever the case it may be, has the potential to go somewhere by their God-gifted ability, when trouble arises, instead of saying, hey, don't come, you need to go over there, you got more ahead of you, you have them come. And typically, who seems to get caught up? The person who had all the potential seems to be the one that find the trouble and all the issues and make the pay, and it pretty much kill the dream. That has happened a lot with a lot of young people when it comes to their dreams. And then what you're talking about, having to move forward and then realizing that in that same sense of moving forward, that you got to be careful who you tell these things to.
Yeah, you have to be extremely careful because there are a lot of negative people out there.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's why it's good, like you say, to be to yourself. I'm kind of that same way. I maneuver and I move because other people bring about their own problems, and they bring their own problems and unload it on you, and you'll start dealing with stuff and like, you know what, this ain't even got nothing to do with me.
yeah, you know, it's so, like I said, it was, you know, the best friends I had. I never roomed with them. There was one young man from Florida who really, from Vero Beach, and it was Gifford, sort of like New Road and Ventures. Gifford was like, they call it Vero Beach, but it was Gifford. Guy should have been a doctor. And he's the one that got me through college. He recognized that I was a little short-handed there, you got me? And he said, hey, big guy, come on, take the same classes with me, I'll work with you, help you. And the guy did it. I mean, every night we did it. And when we went out, you know where the Baptist church is right there? Right over here.
Right off of Harding.
Right off of Harding, yeah. We used to play basketball there every Saturday and Sunday. That was our activities. You know, we ain't went nowhere. We go play, we would eat, lunch, go play basketball, shower, eat dinner, study. That's what we would do. And
sound like a focused young man.
Buck was a focused young man, but you know, Buck should have been a doctor. I see when I go down to Vero Beach and work with MLB, there's a lady in there who graduated with him. And what she did when she found out I was coming, she went and found all the men that were still alive that played with Buck, and she brought them to the stadium so they could meet me.
Really?
Because Buck had told them things about me. And it was like they knew who I was, you got me? And Buck's sister came by, Linda, she came by to visit with me. I mean, it just was like a homecoming. And I told Buck, what was so unique, his mother's name was Eunice, just like my mother's name was Eunice. So I said, we had a lot in common, other than you were a lot smarter than I was.
What did Buck ended up going off to do in life?
Buck went home to be a teacher, and I was angry with him because I said, you should go to medical school. That's how brilliant he was. And he said, I don't want to be a doctor. I just want to be a coach. And he never ended up coaching. He ended up being a teacher. And I said, man, you know, God only give us so many of them kind of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God was brilliant in the physics and the science and the math. It was like everything fell out of the sky in his hand. He was so good at it. You got me? And I'm saying, man, I don't know. I don't understand how you understand. I know all of this. And he would laugh, say, don't worry about it. We'll get it. You know?
Did you guys keep up with each other much once you both graduated and kind of went on in life?
Yeah. I've never told this story. Buck was such a good player. When the Braves drafted me, and Buck wasn't drafted, it hurt me more than it probably hurt Buck.
Oh, he played baseball with you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know he was on the team with you.
Yeah. And we used to play basketball 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 and beat everybody. But no, he was on the team, and I told the Braves, y'all drafted the wrong guy. Y'all should have drafted him. And the guy, Paul Snyder, was the assistant farm director at the time, and he said, I did see him. He was playing out of position. I saw him when they moved him to short. He had quick hand, quick feet. I said, that's the guy y'all should have drafted, not me. Well, they drafted me. So my point was, that's how much I believed in him, that I recommended that they drafted him over me. How about that?
How about that? My man Buck.
Yeah, not a lot of people would do that because they would be selfish. But I was very thankful that Buck got me down the road. You got me?
Because he wasn't selfish with his time and his effort to see the potential in you.
That's the point.
That's a good thing. Let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back and continue the conversation more Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White.
Smart Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge because BTR is so close and convenient, they're always one step ahead, rather than dead on their feet. So, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. Some Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge. Some don't. The ones that do know BTR is all about being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere their business takes them. They also know not flying BTR means more traffic, longer lines, and wasted time. So if it's about going from driveway to runway with a lot less highway, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Have a passion? We've got the place. Gear up for where the rubber meets the mud, or stir up memories of a lifetime. Reach new heights. Gravitate towards something out of this world. Even travel back in time. You might like a little drama in your life, or get in touch with your inner nature lover. Release some pent-up energy while you're at it. There's plenty to do beyond the swing sets. BRAC, we're more than a playground.
With over 60 years of combined experience, Kathy Sherburne and Anna Barnett bring a wealth of knowledge and excitement to the framing industry. Keeping strong to the Louisiana culture, Acadian Frame and Art has numerous local artists and sports team memorabilia for their customers to choose from. Whether you're creating a gallery-like setting in your office or simply looking for some fun art for your kids' playroom, Acadian Frame and Art is your one-stop picture framing spot. Call 225-927-6129 or go to www.acadianframe.com.
Get the memoir from the legendary baseball coach from Southern University, Roger Cador, Against All Odds. Roger refused to let his past dictate his future by rising to legendary college baseball status. An inspiring story of tenacity, faith, and hope. Against All Odds chronicles Coach Cador's determination to reach higher, to want more, and to dig deeper to find the courage to chase his dreams. Against All Odds. Get yours today by Cador and Cador Publishing. You are now watching Choppin' It Up with Roger Cador and Perry White.
All right, we're back with more Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White. I'm Perry White. He's the man, the myth, the legend. Coach Roger Cador reporting live right here, right now in the Roger Cador Baseball Fieldhouse on the campus of Southern University. And this week, a very special week. It is homecoming, and there are going to be a lot of people, friends, family, and alums that are going to be just flocking to this campus as the week goes on, as it inches closer to the football game and the big day Saturday. And Coach, for you, you know, over the years, having guys being able to come back, is there a joy when you watch guys and get a chance to watch them be former players? You know, you may have come into the program being a young knucklehead that didn't know nothing from somewhere, and then years later you see them with their families, the kids running around, they introducing you to their wives or whoever the case may be, and saying, you know what, Coach, thank you.
Man, that's one of the most wonderful things about homecoming. And anything where you can come back together is to see people that you help nourish have grown up to be fathers, husband, head of household, taxpayers, leaders in the community. They become all of those things. Mm-hmm. And it's so good to see, because now, every now and then, a few of them say, thanks, Coach. You knew what you were doing. I'm glad I listened. And that's the best thing you can ever hear as a coach, a former player tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because something made sense. They caught on. You know what I'm saying? And I was pretty demanding about them doing things right. Now, I was hard on them about that, you know, because I knew there was always someone lurking to prey on the weaker ones. You got me? Make them do something stupid. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Don't go to class, man. But we told them, encourage them, strengthen the weak, encourage the ones to do better in life. And you got to always think about the less fortunate and help them. The people who are most fortunate don't need your help. Mm-hmm. Am I correct?
You're correct.
It's the less fortunate that needs help. So we need to just make sure we stay on that. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the former players and their wives and kids come back. I'm sure they'll come back for this. And they're playing a pretty good opponent in Alcorn, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, a few people may come for that. And Southern is doing good with the football, which is important.
You gonna make your way to the game? You probably be in one of the suites.
That's probably the only place I can go. Unless you let me go with you. I know you where the high rollers are.
You can hang out with me anytime, Coach.
I can?
Anytime. I can assure you. Anytime you want to hang out, we can hang out on a game day.
Oh, man. And about the neurosurgeon. You'll be working, huh?
You know the good thing about it, if I'm hanging out with you, though, they'll probably give me a cart so we can drive around. There's no way I can have Roger Cador walking around on this campus, so I probably can get a cart so we can ride around. That'd make it a little bit more luxury for us.
You think they'll do that for us?
Probably not. Maybe for you, not for me. If they say Coach Cador, yeah, they'll do it for you, but not for me. Yeah. But I look forward to homecoming, man. It's always a good time. I look forward to the camaraderie. It's a lot of people half the time I went to school with that I don't remember, but they remember you. And so they say, hey, man, how you doing, how everything?
Yeah, right.
And you kind of give like that fake, how you doing, man, everything good? I know that happens to you a lot.
A lot, man, a lot, you know, a lot. What is so interesting is, though, the people you help that I can't remember, they said, you did this for me and I appreciate it.
Do you say, oh, I did?
Every now and then I said, I did? Yeah. You know, and I'm trying to go in my memory bank and trying to pull up a name and they just don't, you know.
Yeah, I understand. It's like that with me. People stop, speak, and kind of don't remember or kind of don't know them, but at the same time, hey, you know, good to see you, man. You know, hey, how everything going with you? You know, this is kind of just a cordial way of how to go about it instead of acting like I don't know you and keep going. But, you know, I guess when you're a student on campus and, you know, people remember you, but sometimes if you didn't quite have that total interaction, you don't quite remember them all the time.
That's right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but you know, getting back to the game, I think it's important that as many people as we can come on campus, support the football program, because if they beat this game, that put them in pretty good situation. They could run the table.
First place.
You know, I know FAMU is going to be a tough opponent. Is on the schedule, right?
Next week.
Yeah, so it doesn't get any easier. So you know, we gotta win this week in case something happens down the road. Because I saw Grambling has lost 2 games. Alcorn has lost.
No, Alcorn undefeated along with Southern.
Yeah, so you gotta beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you big into football when you was coaching and even as a student, like when it was football season, did you make sure you went to go watch some games?
Yeah, I did. I went and watched games, and because the games were so good, and the bands were so good, the crowd was so wonderful. I mean, it was really great festivity. When I was in school and when I was a younger coach, it was different. I mean, it was a lot of action going on, you know. I can remember Jonathan, he and I we had some seats. We would go sit, we had pretty good seats, and we would go sit, and one day he told me, you know, Dad, it must have been Prairie View, he said, Southern bands is so much louder than Prairie View. Prairie View didn't have the numbers, and Southern had all those musicians out of New Orleans. Dr. Greg had some of the greatest band young people. They grew up playing music, so they were gonna be. Yeah, I said they're gonna be better, man. They grew up in New Orleans playing music, bam. You know, that music was really good, man. I'm telling you, I got to see the heyday of so many things at Southern.
Yeah.
You know, when we had the best of everything.
Talk about that, the best of everything, of the heyday at Southern and what that was like from your perspective and your memory.
Well, you know, not a lot of people were running after us to come and take us. So Southern and the Gramblings and the Prairie Views and the Jackson States and Alcorn, they were getting some pretty good talent, you know what I'm saying? Because the doors were pretty much closed to a large degree at other institutions that were not HBCUs. So people came here and they made a name for themselves. And when you think in music, the Marcella brothers came here. You know, can you imagine the Marcellas? I don't know if you even remember them. Well, the neurosurgeon know who Wynton Marcellus, you never heard of him? Yeah, he's one of the legend trumpeters, you know. And we had a jazz teacher, Mr. Baptiste. He had some of the best jazz you ever gonna find. And we had arts and craft and the people doing, you know, all of those statues on campus. You know, people did that. You know what I'm saying? We had some of the greatest artists. Well, they were here. They were here. So But, you know, time has come and gone. It ain't like it used to be. You got to pick, miss and match, or put pieces together now. It ain't like, you know. We used to tell a story. When I first started coaching, my coaches would, assistant coach said, Coach, we need so-and-so. Say, go in your backyard and shake a tree and get 2 players. That's how easy it was to find players, literally. You got me? So, and it was the same thing with other things. Literary, people just giants. They were giants in their field. And they were here at Southern. They never got the notoriety because who was going to give it to you? You got me? But they were really giants at what they could do and what they did. And that's what I came through with. That's why it was easy for them to help me. That's why they understood about leaning over to help the less fortunate. Because Southern had an open door policy. And they understood you got to help people.
Yeah.
When you open the door, you got to help them. It ain't like that anymore, so you're not going to get that kind of help. You got different kind of people. They graduated from university where people turned their nose at them. So they come here and bring the same attitude. You got me? This is the way they treat me. Well, that's not what Southern is about. If you could keep the tradition of the university, you still could find people who would do the things the way they used to do them. You got me? But you got to have the tradition. And the tradition must live on.
I think we've accredited the tradition in the wrong way of saying, you know, if you can survive Southern, you can survive anywhere because of all the issues and the problems that you run into, instead of saying all of the help and the love, you know, and that seems to be what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The help and the love compared to now, the issues are being glorified to the point that instead of saying, let's change it, well, if you can survive it, you'll be able to make it anywhere. I've never liked that idea of being able to, of saying that.
I just think when you bring people in from other universities that are so-called or got reputation as being academically higher standard than what a historical black school, that's not always necessarily true. You know, they may have it in certain areas, but when it comes to people skills, it may not be there. You got me? You know, schools like Southern ought to always exist because, you know why? There are people being left behind, and they can have a place to come and get better. You got me? Buy time. You know what I'm saying?
That's the mission of the HBCU.
That should be the mission. Should be the mission. We should have schools where kids can go and buy the time and play the catch-up game. You got me? I think there are some of your most talented people come out of the left behind type of situation. You got me?
And them typically your most hungry and motivated because they're trying to actually do something.
Yeah.
You know, life kind of isn't really given to them. They're trying to create it for themselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people, I'm telling you, I made a living coaching, finding them kind of players that were left behind. You got me? They were hungrier. And then I gave them hope by telling them, I'm here for you. We're going to work it. We can do this together. It was easier for me to do it because I came out of that situation. And
you can relate.
Yeah,
you can understand what a kid coming from a place saying, Coach, I never want to go back, so I'm doing everything I can in order to go forward. And you say, you know what, that sounds like similar to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man, I had some kids, man, that they understood that Coach ain't gonna give up. That's what they knew. You know, they would say, Coach ain't gonna give up on you, man. That's what they would tell. Coach ain't gonna give up on you.
Then you
Just
got
keep
the
working.
hard part of the kids who do want to go back.
Yeah.
You know, that whatever it takes to try to go back, you like, I'm trying to keep you from going back, but they doing everything to go back. That ought to be the hardest part of the job.
Yeah, well, I didn't have many kids wanting to go back, but.
Yeah, because you always tell that story about that kid from East St. Louis that you said had the potential to probably be the greatest.
The greatest, and I'm angry with my nephew. He could have, all he had to do was call me. I would have stopped that boy. This guy was one of the greatest players. Actually, one of my former assistant coaches, we talked about that kid the other day.
He needed a Bucky.
All he needed was someone to say, we're not letting you leave, man. D-Lo, we're not letting you leave. You know, rather than them guys see they would be playing with a special kind of player, they didn't try to. I just don't find. I find that so darn difficult.
Yeah.
You got a special kid, a special talent. You know how hard special talents are to find?
Very, very, very hard. Especially then once you find them, being able to get him.
And I used to tell the kids about Ricky Weeks. Let me tell y'all something. Being jealous about Ricky Weeks ain't gonna do you no good. Because when you go to bed tonight, you're gonna be Joe Blow. When you get up in the morning, you're gonna be Joe Blow. And Ricky Weeks is gonna be Ricky Weeks. So you might as well come on and get on board here. And no hating here. Jealousy doesn't live here.
Yeah.
And that's the way you have to talk to him about it. And I didn't just talk to him one time. I talked to him several times, many times. Because you had to make him understand. He's going to put you in places you can't get yourself. He's going to take you some places you can't go by yourself. So get on that bus and ride with us. You know? And I'm telling you, people have allowed people to be negative and jealous in front of them. And that's why this thing live on, because people have allowed it to you without discussing, talking about it.
Yeah.
To try and eradicate it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
Get it out of here. And I found a situation where I could do it. I had the right players to talk to it, and had the right person in Ricky. Humble kid, wasn't gonna say much, just wanted to be a great teammate. He wanted to make sure he was accepted as a teammate. He was the perfect trial case, if you want to say it. And we made it work.
With Ricky winning the award for the best college baseball player in the country, and looking at the swag, does that put him down?
No.
Well, I was going to say within probably the past 30 to 20 years. Well, let's even do 30, 40. Does he then is put as the best black college baseball player in the past 20, 30 years?
Since he won it.
Yeah. I wasn't going to give him all time because, of course,
right,
there are plenty of guys,
right, yeah.
you know, but just within his frame of time.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Yeah.
By far. Ricky was by far. Now, let me just say this. That was a gentleman, Michael Woods Jr., who played with Ricky, was just as talented as Ricky. You know what I'm saying? He could have done, if he had worked just a little harder, he could have been on Ricky's. He was a first-round draft choice, too, so it wasn't like he was a slouch.
Yeah.
You know, he was a better athlete than Ricky. Bigger, stronger, faster. I mean, you know, just that Ricky had the special thing. He worked hard. He worked hard. He worked hard. And I'll tell young people, Ricky just outworked people, that's all. Remember, nobody wanted Ricky out of high school. That means a lot of people missed on him. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree.
It was me and the coach at George Washington, who is now the coach at Wake Forest, Coach Walters. He and I laughed about it all the time. We were the only two coaches who offered a guy. And when the day I saw him, it was over 100 scouts there, general managers, presidents of his scouting directors, everybody was there. The day I saw Ricky Weeks in Orlando, Florida.
Now here he is on the wall right here. 2003 College Baseball Player of the Year, 2003 Golden Spikes Award winner, 2003 Dick Hauser Award, three-time All-American, 2003 second player picked in the MLB draft by the Brewers.
Yes, sir.
Hell of a career.
Hell of a career.
Let's get ready to take a break, and we'll come back. We'll continue the conversation as we get ready to close things out. More Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White.
Smart Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge because BTR is so close and convenient, they're always one step ahead, rather than dead on their feet. So, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. Some Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge. Some don't. The ones that do know BTR is all about being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere their business takes them. They also know not flying BTR means more traffic, longer lines, and wasted time. So if it's about going from driveway to runway with a lot less highway, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Have a passion? We've got the place. Gear up for where the rubber meets the mud, or stir up memories of a lifetime. Reach new heights. Gravitate towards something out of this world. Even travel back in time. You might like a little drama in your life, or get in touch with your inner nature lover. Release some pent-up energy while you're at it. There's plenty to do beyond the swing sets. BRAC, we're more than a playground.
With over 60 years of combined experience, Kathy Sherburne and Anna Barnett bring a wealth of knowledge and excitement to the framing industry. Keeping strong to the Louisiana culture, Acadian Frame and Art has numerous local artists and sports team memorabilia for their customers to choose from. Whether you're creating a gallery-like setting in your office or simply looking for some fun art for your kids' playroom, Acadian Frame and Art is your one-stop picture framing spot. Call 225-927-6129 or go to www.acadianframe.com.
Get the memoir from the legendary baseball coach from Southern University, Roger Cador, Against All Odds. Roger refused to let his past dictate his future by rising to legendary college baseball status. An inspiring story of tenacity, faith, and hope. Against All Odds chronicles Coach Cador's determination to reach higher, to want more, and to dig deeper to find the courage to chase his dreams. Against All Odds. Get yours today by Cador & Cador Publishing. You are now watching Chopping It Up with Roger Cador and Perry White.
All right, we're back with more Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White. Reporting live today, recording live, talking, chopping it up, all that right here in the Roger Cador Baseball Fieldhouse on the campus of Southern University. It's homecoming this week, so we're just taking a walk down memory lane. That's all today about stories around Southern. It's good to hear you talking, you, Coach, about your time as a player here being drafted, your time as a student, talking about one of your best buds, Buck, who saw the potential in you, talking about players coming back, and just having that overall conversation of just the camaraderie of what it means to be a Jaguar, because I think everything that you talked about today embodies of just the randomness that you can find yourself into on this campus. And when I say the randomness, just not events, but people to meet as well. You just never know who you're going to meet when you go off to college, and you never know who's going to end up being that lifelong friend or that lifelong memory that you'll never forget once you step foot and matriculate through the process of a freshman to a senior.
That's right. That's why it's important. And it's important that we talk about it, because college, once you leave your dwelling at home and you go off to college, for the first time you're leaving home to develop some independence, or, you know what I'm saying? And you meet all kinds of people. You get people from the big city. Like I said, I was 22 before I saw what marijuana was. It was a guy from Compton, California, who some kind of way got it down here and showed it out. And you know what I'm saying? So you got people bringing all kind of things from all over the country, the USA, and you know, some things are good, some are bad, some are good to know about.
Cultural differences, different perspectives.
Yeah, you know. And my thing was, I didn't, you know, it wasn't no big deal what the guy did. I mean, you know, we never hung together anyway, you got me? So it wasn't going to affect me one way or the other. But you learned a lot of things from different people, even though they may not see things the way you see them. You still can learn something from them, you know. And that's what makes it, God create people, all kinds of people. He didn't have a mold that's one size fit all, you know. People out there and people develop their own thing and then you go from there with it.
And that's the beautiful thing, man. And then those memories and the people, and that's the beauty of homecoming.
Yeah.
You know, people go in their different directions once they graduate. Some go to grad school,
Right.
some go into the workforce. Some never know where they're gonna go, you know, but then years later, after all that's said and done, you get yourself settled, you get yourself together in life, you take your education, you head in the right direction, start your family, then you come back with your family, and then you talk about, man, you remember the days when the Isley brothers came and smoked that weed in our dorm room in Gradison Hall, man. I can't believe that one. I would have had to be there to see that.
On the third floor, I'm telling you. I was shocked. I was shocked that they were in there. You got me?
I would have had to be there to see that one, man. I probably would have had to smoke with them, Coach.
The Isley brothers, isn't that a classic?
That's a classic to say that they were right there in Gradison Hall, and
On the
probably
third
nobody
floor.
even really knows that.
They didn't know who they were, other than the guy is my roommate.
Yeah.
He knew him. He knew him some kind of way. But the other people didn't know who in the hell they were. You
That's
know,
classic.
it was classic. It was classic.
That's
man.
one of the best stories I've heard.
It's a great story, and it's true. Because if my former players out there know I only tell true stories. I ain't got time to fantasize and lie. That is a true story.
True story right there, Will.
Yeah.
Coach, what you got going on? You gonna be out and about this week for homecomings? People
Yeah.
get a chance to see you?
Yes, I'm gonna be out and moving around. I'm already talked to a couple of people. The weather's supposed to be really good. So I'm gonna look to make my round and say hello to people. Looking forward to it, to be honest with you.
I am too, actually.
Yeah.
Homecoming's a good time.
Homecoming is a good time. And I know a lot of the former players are coming back. So I'm looking forward to seeing them and, talk to them and see how life has been treating them.
Yeah.
And then they'll get to see me, know that I'm doing okay because, a lot of people thought that I was gone.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
Yeah. They want to see you.
They want to see you. All right. So, it's going to be interesting to see people and we'll make things happen.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be out looking forward to it, man. Homecoming this weekend. I hope everybody has safe travels. I know it's homecoming at a few other HBCUs, a few other places around the country. So, I hope you guys enjoy it and realize what the essence and the spirit of it is all about. And be safe, most of all. Sometimes we can't control everything, but be aware and be safe and have a good time and travel safely. So as we get ready to get out of here, Coach, you got anything else for the people out there?
Well, we want them to have fun, but use the word I'm using. Use cautions. Just be safe. Enjoy yourself. Let it be a wonderful occasion, homecoming. But let's make sure everybody leaves here, get home safely. Yeah. That's the key. We want everybody who come to get back home safely because they got families and loved ones waiting on them. You got me?
Yeah.
So let's make sure we enjoy ourselves and support the team and have some fun.
I'm looking to have some fun. Maybe run into some of them old things back in my college days I used to like and used to see, maybe see what they looking like these days.
Oh my goodness.
See if she's still looking good or is she eating good?
Oh, my
It's one
goodness.
of the two.
What? I hope your grandmother ain't listening to you.
Oh, she probably listening.
I've been trying to work on him.
All right, everybody. Well, we thank you guys for tuning in for another great episode of Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White. We're right here in the Roger Cador baseball field house on the campus of Southern University. It's homecoming, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Be sure to go to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. You can follow Coach Cador on YouTube with the Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador, where you can subscribe as well as on his Facebook page. Hit the follow, in which we're live on Facebook as well. And he's also on Instagram. You can keep up with him there as well. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And Coach, as always, get us out of here. Catch you next week.
Get the memoir from the legendary baseball coach from Southern University, Roger Cador. Against all odds, Roger refused to let his past dictate his future by rising to legendary college baseball status.